6 cases, 70 years apart, different countries, different governments, and every single time, the object showed up on radar.
(1952), 76, 86, 90, 2004. This isn't a story, it's a pattern.
Denied.
This is Dead Signal, where we break down the most unexplained evidence in history, one case at a time. Today's not one case, it's 6, the strongest radar and witness UFO files ever declassified, back to back. And here's the rule for the next 20 minutes. No blurry night sky clips. Every case has a document, a radar tape, or a pilot. I'll give you my honest conviction percentage on each one. Then you vote at the end. Stick around. The last one is the case the Pentagon confirmed. We start in 1952, Washington, D.C., and I mean directly over the Capitol and the White House. 2 weekends in a row, objects lit up radar at 3 different locations at once: the airport, the Tower Andrews Air Force Base. The Air Force scrambled F-94 jets. Pilots saw the lights. And every time they closed in, the lights just left.
With all due respect to the Air Force, I believe that some of them will prove to be of interplanetary origin. During a 3-year investigation, I found that many pilots have described objects of substance and high speed. One case, pilots reported their plane was buffeted by an object which passed them at 500 miles an hour. Obviously, this was a solid object, and I believe it was from outer space.
Let me walk you through that first night, because the timeline is wild. Just before midnight, July 19th, an air traffic controller sees 7 blips, 7 objects, sitting in restricted airspace, right over the White House and the Capitol, where nothing is allowed to fly. He calls another radar room to check. They see them too. Then the control tower sees them. Then the pilots in the air see the lights. One airline pilot watched a light streak away the instant a jet turned toward it. This went on for hours. Then it happened again the next weekend. July 26th. Same thing. Jets scramble. One pilot reports the lights surrounding his aircraft, and he radios the tower asking what he should do. This forced the biggest Air Force press conference since World War II. Their answer? A temperature inversion bending the radar.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers. The Air Force interest in this problem has been due to our feeling of an obligation to identify and analyze to the best of our ability anything in the air that may have the possibility of threat or menace to the United States.
But here's the open loop. The radar operators who were there said no. They knew what heat blur looked like. This wasn't it. Skeptics are right. Inversions are real, and it was a hot, humid July. That covers some blips, not the jets chasing lights. My conviction something real was over Washington? 45%. Radar times 3 is strong, but heat haze is a fair hit. Fast forward to 1976, Tehran, Iran. And this is the one with an actual government document behind it. An F-4 Phantom scrambles on a glowing object. As it closes in, the jet's communications and instruments cut out, so it turns back. A second F-4 goes up. The squadron commander gets a radar lock, and the return is the size of a Boeing tanker. Then a smaller object separates from the big one and comes straight at him. He reaches for his weapons, and the whole panel shuts down. Back up to how this started. Around midnight, citizens are calling the Tehran airport tower, reporting a bright light circling the sky. The tower supervisor goes outside and looks. He sees it too, so a general on duty makes the call and scrambles the first F-4. This was a fast and highly urgent mission. That first jet gets within 25 miles, and everything electronic in the cockpit dies. Instruments, communications, gone. The pilot turns back, and it all comes back on. Think about what that means. The malfunction happens only when he's near the object and heals the second he flies away. That's not a coincidence you shrug off. Then it gets stranger. The second pilot watches another object come out of the big one and drop down, glowing on the ground. And that is where things get truly unbelievable. He marks the spot. The next day, they fly back over it in daylight to check the area and pick up a signal near that exact location. This isn't a rumor. The Defense Intelligence Agency wrote it up as an outstanding case. Multiple witnesses, radar, systems failure on 2 jets, and decades later, that commander, now a general, stood at a press club in Washington and told the whole story on the record.
One of the objects headed toward me. I thought it was a missile. I tried to launch a heat-seeker missile to it, but my missile panel went out. Another followed me when I was descending on the way back. One of the separated objects landed in an open area radiating a high bright light in which the sands on the ground were visible.
The skeptic case. The bright object was Jupiter, and the electronics glitched on their own. Possible, but on both jets, at the worst moment, this is what they saw, and it changes everything. My conviction here? 70%. A signed intelligence document plus 2 separate system failures is the hardest evidence we've got so far. Case 3 moves to England, 1980. 2 American air bases, a pine forest between them, and this one has a signed memo behind it. Late at night, airmen see lights. They come down into the forest. They think a plane crashed. Security police go in on foot to find the wreck. Instead, they describe a small craft in a clearing. Lights pulsing, the animals on the nearby farm going crazy. They say it moves through the trees. The deputy base commander goes back the next night with a team and a tape recorder, and he narrates the whole thing live as it happens. They measure higher than normal radiation readings at 3 indentations on the ground where the object supposedly sat. And a light keeps pulsing at them. Two weeks later, that commander writes an official memo, subject line, unexplained lights, and it eventually gets released to the public. And decades on, the tape of his live narration in the forest is out there too. You can hear the fear in a trained officer's voice.
You just saw a light where? Right in this position here, straight ahead, in between the tree. There it is again. Watch, straight ahead off my flash back there. Yeah, there it is. Hey, I see it too. What is it? We don't know, sir. So can I get some? Yeah, it's a strange, small red light. You'll see on maybe quarter to half mile, maybe further out. I'm gonna switch off. The light is gone now. It was approximately 120 degrees from the site. Is it back again? Yes, sir. Oh, that's the flashlight set. Let's move out to the edge of the clearing so we can get a better look at it. See if you can get the star scope on it. The light's still there, and all the barnyard animals have gotten quiet now. Yeah, we're heading about 110 to 120 degrees from the site. I'm through to the clearing now. Still getting a reading on the meter. About 2 clicks. Maybe count 3 to 4 clicks. Getting stronger. Now it's coming up. Hold on. There we go. About approximately 4 foot off the ground. Coming setting of 110 degrees. All right, just turn the meter off. You gotta say that again. About 4 feet off the ground, about 110 degrees, getting a reading of about 4 clicks. Yes, sir. something other than the ground. I think it's something that's...
The skeptic case is strong here. A nearby lighthouse beam, a bright meteor that night, and radiation readings that were near normal background. So my conviction? 50%. The memo and the tape are real government records, but a lighthouse 2 miles away is a genuinely good explanation. 1986. A Japan Airlines cargo jumbo jet over Alaska. The captain reports a craft he says is the size of 2 aircraft carriers. Now, one panicked pilot is a story, but this object showed up on 3 radars at once: the planes, the FAA's, and the military's. Anchor Control, do you have targets in our region? Direct confirmation, they are still tracking with us. Negative, we have no other radar targets. This is a cargo 747 flying wine from Paris to Tokyo, over Alaska, in the dark. First, the crew sees 2 smaller sets of lights pacing them. The captain thinks it's military jets, until the lights swing in front of his windshield and fire up like walls of light. His whole cockpit glows. The captain is so rattled, he asks air traffic control for permission to change course. To get away from it, controllers watch it on their scope too.
Now, can you give me the position of primary you're receiving?
Chris, deviate from all good. Requesting 240.
Better 1628, Roger, fighting 240. Better 1628 heavy. Deviations approved as necessary. Better 1628 heavy, sir. If you're able to identify the type of aircraft, and if you can tell whether it's military or civilian.
They even ask the pilot to make a full circle to confirm the thing is really following him. It stays with him through the turn.
So we cannot identify the type. They're coming like a formation. It's quite a big. Better 1628, sir. Do you still have the traffic?
Disappear, Japan 1628.
Better 1628, I understand you do not see the traffic any longer.
Okay.
So I'm going to request you to make a right turn in 363 turn, and 5 minutes your traffic status is.
Better 1628, returning your traffic appear to be staying with you.
Yeah, that's 1-2. We have to confirm there is a flight size of 2 around your 1550 squawk. 1 primary return only.
Okay, where is he following him?
It looks like he is, yes.
Okay, stand by. Do you have anybody to scramble up there, or do you want to do that?
We're going to talk to your liaison officer about that.
It's starting to concern of Japan Airlines making a 360 now, and it's still following.
Okay, we'll call the military desk on this. Then there's 1628 heavy military radar. It's not as they are picking up intermittent primary target behind you. In trail, let's say again.
Center from United 69. The Japan airliner is silhouetted against a light sky. I don't see anybody around him at all. I can see his original, but I sure don't see any other airplane.
FAA released the tapes and the radar printouts in '87. And then the FAA official who ran the case dropped a bombshell. He said he briefed the CIA, the FBI, and Reagan's science team. And afterward, they told him the meeting never happened.
My name is John Callahan. I'm a retired FAA employee. I was the division manager for the Accidents Evaluation and Investigation Division in D.C. About 2 years before I retired, I received a call from Alaska region where the region wanted to know what to tell the media. When I questioned, tell the media what, he says about the UFO, and it went downhill from there. What UFO? That we have recorded radar data on a UFO, and these guys are going to get all excited, drooling over all this data. I said, well, you're going to tell the public about it? And he says, no, we don't tell the public about this. It would panic the public. He says, we're going to go back and study this. I said, okay. It was what he was going to do. Now, I've told this story many times, and I get sometimes funny looks from people. I have with me the voice tapes of the controllers that were involved, the FAA original tapes. See, after we handed this stuff off to the president's staff, in my 1992 tax return, I have the target printouts from the computer data, which, so if you wanted to return or look at every target that was up there at the time, You can now reproduce this from this piece of paper here. And it's called the UFO incident, Japan 1648, I believe the number was, that happened on November the 18th, 1986.
And the captain? He got pulled off flying duty for years just for reporting it. That's the price of telling the truth on the record. Skeptics say the big lights were Jupiter and Mars, and the radar return was the plane's own signal splitting. It's a real effect. But 3 independent radars and a stack of FAA paperwork? My conviction? 55%. The documents are what carry this one. Belgium, winter '89. In one evening, 143 reports of a silent black triangle, including from police officers. The peak night, ground radar tracked something. 2 F-16s scrambled, got radar locks, and recorded jumps from 90 miles an hour to 700. The Belgian Air Force's own operations chief held a press conference and showed the radar data. A general, on the record. It kicks off near the German border. 2 police officers, trained observers, watch a huge triangle with spotlights hover over a field. For months, the sightings pile up. The Belgian Air Force is under real public pressure. So on the peak night, they finally send the jets up.
This video of the F-16's radar track of the object showed the performance of a vehicle of a totally unknown origin. The Air Force were at a complete loss to explain their findings. A press conference was called.
What these pilots detected was well outside the normal flying envelope of an airplane. Sometimes they had what we call lock-ons, which gave a parameters varying from speeds between 150 knots till 990 knots. An acceleration which occurred in a few seconds. These speeds would be impossible to tolerate for a human being. That's a first point. A second point is the visual observations always describe a system, a machine, which hangs and hovers above the surface at quite a low altitude without making any noise. Now, with the current technology, that will be impossible.
The F-16 pilots get locks 3 separate times. Each time, the object dives thousands of feet in seconds and breaks the lock. No conventional jet does that. Now, the part most UFO channels leave out. The most famous photo of the whole wave, that sharp black triangle, it was a hoax. In 2011, the guy confessed. Painted styrofoam, corners hung on threads. And the radar locks have prosaic explanations too. So my conviction on Belgium? 25%, the lowest today. But it's not zero, because that first night, 143 people saw something. And the last one, the case the Pentagon itself confirmed is real. 2004, off the coast of California, a Navy cruiser's advanced radar tracked objects dropping from 80,000 feet to 20,000 in about a second. Then jets went to look. And this didn't happen in one afternoon. For 2 straight weeks, that cruiser's radar had been tracking these objects coming and going. Dozens of times. The radar operators had never seen anything move like this. So when jets were already airborne nearby, they vectored them straight to the last contact. The pilots get there and see the ocean below them churning, a patch of sea boiling white, like something big is just under the surface. And above that boiling water, a squadron commander, a Navy fighter pilot, sees it, a white object about 40 feet, shaped like a Tic Tac. No wings, no exhaust. He goes to engage it. It mirrors his move for a second, then it's just gone. And moments later, it reappears 60 miles away. For years, the Navy said nothing. Then in 2020, the Pentagon did something it had never done. It officially released the footage. Genuine, unaltered, still unexplained. And in 2023, that same pilot said all of it again, under oath, to Congress.
Look down a small, saw white Tic Tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the Tic Tac.
The skeptic answer is camera parallax and lens artifacts, and that's worth taking seriously on the video alone. The video plus the cruiser's radar plus 4 trained pilots? 75%. This is the strongest case on the entire list. 70 years, 6 countries, 6 different radar systems, and every single time something was up there that no one could identify. My overall conviction that at least one of these 6 was truly unexplained? 70%. And that last case is why. Now you. Which case convinced you the most? Washington, Tehran, Rendlesham, Alaska, Belgium, or Nimitz? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe. New file every week. This is Dead Signal. The camera saw what you didn't.